Nothing will make you more tired than staying up, or in my case, getting up and watching a boxing fight that's going down in America. Obviously, it was Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. I'm just going to let you know now, because I know sometimes people go crazy about this. I would call myself a lay boxing fan. Is that even the right word? Like, I really like boxing, and I watch a lot of boxing. But if you ask me some sort of super serious technical question, I don't know. It's like watching two people punch each other in the head, because I am a weird individual like many of us are out there. So I've just seen it. It's just finished. I thought I'd do a little video. Why the hell not? We've got a YouTube channel. I like talking about this stuff, and hopefully you get involved in the comments and we can just have a big chat, because yeah, beforehand, I was like everybody else. I'm not going to pretend that I had some incredible grand plan away from the norm. I thought it was going to be, get rid of that, I thought it was going to be Tyson Fury on points, or I thought Deontay Wilder would knock him out. I mean, you kind of look back now, and it's happened so much with Tyson Fury, and I think most people have done this. We kind of underestimate him, even though when you look at his story, obviously beating Klitschko, however many years it was, and then going through all the mental health issues. Another thing we talk about here on the channel, so you can't help but respect him for that. And then, because I think he'd had, 2 warm-up fights maybe? I mean, it was a minor amount of warm-up fights before he fought Wilder the first time, which is why everyone was like, Tyson Fury, you're crazy, man. Don't fight this guy. And even then, not only did he go 12 rounds with him, but, he got smashed with that 12th, that right hook in the 12th, or whichever it was, and he got up. We'll remember the Undertaker gifts and everything like that. So here we are, essentially, a year and a half on, and I think the problem for me was that last fight where with Tyson Fury fought Wallin, I think his name was, the German guy, obviously gave him that crazy cut. That does leave a slight impression in your head, because you start thinking, well, how is that going to tie into this? And maybe we have all actually overestimated Tyson Fury. So then you flip it around in your brain and you start pacing backwards, especially because when Wilder fought Ortiz all of 6 months ago, if you actually watch that fight, which I did, Ortiz outboxes the hell out of him. Like, it was a schooling again. But the difference between that one and the fight we saw today, or last night, depending on when you saw it, is that Ortiz didn't do a big enough job on Wilder to get rid of that power. So when he smashed him with that right hook and he goes down, you're like, well, there it is. That's what everybody's got to worry about. But it kind of became quite clear in the first 2 rounds of Wilder versus Fury 2 that Tyson Fury was obviously put on that extra weight to come out on the front foot, had decided, Addy has told us in the build-up that he was going to try and knock Deontay Wilder out. And I heard Eddie Hearn earlier. I've listened to a lot of talk radio, and I heard Eddie Hearn he's Anthony Joshua's promoter. I'd heard him a few times say, I've heard something from Tyson Fury's camp, which is now making me think that Deontay Wilder's going to win. And he admitted this morning that what he had heard is that Tyson Fury's camp had decided, we are going to try and knock Deontay Wilder out. And even Eddie Hearn thought that was nuts. As it turns out, it was a stroke of genius, but that's what he went out there to do. So as soon as he had kind of basically battered Deontay Wilder for 2 rounds, Wilder looked out on his feet, and I can't remember which round the big knockdown came in. I think it was the second. I can't remember. I should have written all this down. Again, don't watch fights first thing in the morning. But it certainly seemed like to me like Deontay Wilder busted his eardrum open. His ear was just pouring with blood, and it was disgusting. And from that point on, his equilibrium was absolutely screwed. Now, I guess one of the excuses you could throw in there is, well, if he hadn't done that, maybe Deontay Wilder would have been fine. But yes, that's what boxing is. The whole point of boxing is you injure your opponent to the point you can either knock them out, technically knock them out, or win on points. So that was, that was Tyson Fury's game plan, and it couldn't have worked any better. The irony being, is that the right word? Maybe poetic drama. I don't know what the right thing would be. It was the same kind of punch that Deontay Wilder had hit Tyson Fury back in their first one. That sort of one to the, kind of this area. You call it backside of the head, whatever you want. But yeah, that's the kind of crazy thing about it, is that as soon as Wilder had been basically put on the back foot, it just didn't look like he knew what to do. And I don't like getting into this whole rhetoric. I do know what people mean. I do agree with it. But I don't like getting into this rhetoric of, Deontay Wilder's a crap boxer. Yes, when it comes down to the technical side or the sweet science, I mean, not only is Tyson Fury better than Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury is probably the best there is right now in the heavyweight division. Again, that's why he's such an anomaly, because he's this massive lump of a man, and yet he can move around and jab, and it's just incredible. But I think that was the big takeaway for me, is that this is the first time where I've looked at Deontay Wilder and I'm like, man, I don't know what you're going to be able to do, because you don't have a plan B. And there's nothing wrong with that. If I was a boxer, I'd love to be the big punch guy. It's the knockout guy, the guy that has a punch so powerful, any point he can just smash you in the face. It's a pretty cool place to be. But yeah, say that you got exploded eardrum, you're down on your feet, you're on your back foot, your equilibrium's all knocked out, and you don't have the power in your legs and your hips to muster up that shot. what the hell do you do? What the hell do you do? And I think that was the story of the fight, at least from my, again, very inexperienced brain. It was just Tyson Fury was all over him. Tyson Fury had a plan, executed it. As soon as he had wounded him, is a bit like, a hunter. He's like, now I'm going to finish you off. And, that's what he did. That's what he did. And I genuinely couldn't believe it. I thought it was going to be much closer. I had a stupid bet on Deontay Wilder knocking him out in the third. Didn't actually think it was going to happen. When I looked at the odds, I was like, well, if it does happen, I may win a little bit of money. So I'll do that. But I also had another bet on that I thought Tyson Fury was going to win. Again, that one didn't win so much because it was so close on the betting odds. It was, again, two-horse race. But genuinely surprising. I mean, I guess it depends how you look at it. If you're a Tyson Fury fan, you're now going to be over the moon and jumping around thinking this guy's the best, which he probably is. We need the Anthony Joshua fight to kind of find that out, but it depends. Again, there's a clause in the contract that the loser can trigger a rematch within 30 days. I imagine Deontay Wilder would trigger that. I think as a sportsman, not that public perception matters, but I still think it ties into somebody's ego. To say, oh, I'm not going to cash in my rematch is almost like accepting another loss. I think you're better to go out on your feet, right? So if you do have a third fight, even if there would be less public interest because Tyson Fury did dominate this one so much, but it's better to get knocked out for a second time, I think, than go, you know what, I'm not even going to touch it. I think people kind of get funny about that, especially in boxing. I don't really get it in boxing. I would completely understand it. I wouldn't look down on Deontay Wilder at all. I don't want to get beat up again. Oh, you loser. You absolute loser. He's a human being. He's got a family. Like, he's got loads of money. I don't think it matters. But I do think he'll trigger the rematch, and apparently we'll get that in June and July. And unless Wilder can come up with a different game plan or a new game plan, or Tyson Fury has an off night, I just can't see him winning now. Again, this was the best Tyson Fury that we've seen. I think that's kind of a universal opinion right now. And I don't know. I was genuinely floored by it. Not how I saw the fight going at all. Massively respect Deontay Wilder for getting up, obviously, in those early rounds and keep going. But he looked lost on his feet. He truly did. And after a while, he looked scared. And it's hard. Yeah, there are some people claiming that that Deontay's corner shouldn't have called it. Obviously, they threw in the towel, so it was a TKO. He was in the corner. He had his guard up, but Tyson Fury's every shot was just passing his guard and smashing him in the face. And Wilder walked over to his corner and was like, what'd you do that for? What'd you do that for? And they probably went, we don't want you to die. That's why. We'd like you to go home later. And again, apparently he went to hospital to check out his ear. Because his ear, if you haven't seen it, you'll see pictures, I'm sure, today. But yeah, nuts. Absolutely nuts. Incredible fight. I guess if you were wanting this sort of barn burner, if you wanted a war, I smack you, you smack me. But I don't really think you got that. Like, Deontay Wilder never really landed a massive shot. He tagged Tyson Fury a couple of times. And Tyson Fury did have a cut over his right eye, I believe. But he just looked so calm and he looked so collected. And he had the Baron Corbin entrance, of course. Clearly been watching WWE. But yeah, absolutely mad. Absolutely blew my mind. Not how I saw it going. Fair play to Tyson Fury. He continues to overcome the odds and he continues to prove people wrong. And I'll be massively intrigued to see what we do now. I mean, what you want to do is this year you want to have Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury somewhere in the UK, and you have a unified championship bout with two British dudes, which probably will never happen again if we're completely honest. Has it ever happened before? I'm sure it has. Obviously, Lennox Lewis was the last undisputed champion back in 2002? I should have looked it up. I can't remember. But I can't remember who he beat to do that, but it wasn't a British dude. So to get two British dudes doing that, I think would be incredible. But yeah, worth the money, who knows? It depends what you were expecting. I wasn't expecting that. I thought we'd get to the latter rounds, and I guess a small part of me thought maybe Tyson Fury could knock him out, but that's kind of I don't actually believe that. There's no point in me telling otherwise now and sat here going, oh, I had my way with this. I didn't. I thought it'd be a Deontay Wilder massive punch from nowhere that nobody can handle, especially because he had that extra weight, which, by the way, definitely hurt him. He looked so gassed in that 7th round, and of course you would be. He's carrying an extra, 5-6 pounds, half a stone, something like that, which is a lot of weight. When you've been battered like that as well, and you're probably not used to walking around with that extra poundage, it can't be easy. I mean, what the hell do I know? Absolutely nothing. I know absolutely nothing about it, but that's kind of the impression I got. But fair play to both of them. I can't stand it when people criticize boxers. What's scarier than that? What's scarier than getting in a ring and having, 19.5 stone Tyson Fury was, chucking punches at your face? Like, it drives me all, he looks rubbish out there. Shut up. He's a boxer. He put his life on the line. It's true, he did. And they do every time. But yeah, absolutely loved it. Great fight. Again, just a surprise. And it was nice to have a super duper heavy AAA fight. I felt like we haven't had that in ages. I know the Klitschko fights kind of got there, but I don't know, this just felt bigger somehow. Again, because of the promotion. So it rocked. Right, that's it. Just a little video for a Sunday. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video, share the video. And yeah, I'll see you next week.